So I just watched the Doom Annihilation movie. While I'd been cynical about how it would end up, I went in with an open mind and tried to give it a chance. I'd like to say I was pleasantly surprised, but sadly that just isn't the case. From pretty much start to finish, it ranged from underwhelming to just straight up excruciating at times. I'm getting ahead of myself though, so please allow me to elaborate on that. It shows something going wrong 17 minutes in, but it only shows a vague off-screen terror attacking a screaming woman, and then it's all exposition and the like until 36 minutes in. Only then is there some real action, and it's just generic zombies. Now, I know the zombies in Doom have never been the most creative looking, but you've got some good ones to choose from, such as the green-haired, tan-armored Marine from the original, or the Cyclops in Doom 2016. There's simply no excuse for the design to look this phoned in. It looks like they found the costumes in a crate labeled Generic Zombie Apocalypse Movie number 205. The lead does use a chainsaw for a brief instant, but for the most part it's generic assault rifles shooting generic zombies. Just about 50 minutes in, they finally switched it up with an imp teaser that has actual combat around 2/3 of the movie, but their designs honestly aren't much better. They come across as more like burn victims than any of the series' designs of the creature. Sure, it launches fireballs and uniquely can now apparently suck out souls, but it doesn't come across as imposing or particularly unique. Then again, Bland kinda describes this movie as a whole. From the environments to the monsters to just about everything like armor designs, there's really not much here aside from UAC logos and colored keycards that really spell out that this is supposed to be Doom. The teleporters just look like slabs with runes on them and have this weird looking stop motion goo effect when they activate. The stasis chambers even look like they were directly ripped off from Alien. One particularly egregious example is the BFG, sadly. I'll give them slight credit for being acknowledged as the big effing gun, but that's a little comfort when the thing is so generically designed and depicted as incredibly weak. Seriously, the lead character is only able to kill a single demon with each shot, and that's a pretty far cry from their depiction in all the Doom games where they straight up clear out an entire room. There were actually plasma grenades found next to it, and those end up being depicted as much stronger and effective at clearing out enemies, which kinda makes this big hulking thing redundant. Then again, cheap cameos that don't fulfill any meaningful purpose seem to be the name of the game here, unfortunately. You've got things like naming a fallen scientist William Blazkowicz, another scientist John Carmack, and naming the AI Daisy, you know, after Doom Guy's pet rabbit. While there are brief first-person sections, it's pretty much exclusively one of them looking around in the environment. The 2005 movie, with all its faults, at least had an extended first-person action sequence complete with the Pinky fight. For that matter, despite not actually acknowledging them as demons, the 2005 movie also had more interesting and faithful, at least in terms of Doom 3 designs than Annihilation did. I thought the 2005 version of the Pinky looked a little weird, but this movie doesn't even have Pinkies in any form. I thought I was disappointed that the 2005 movie lacked cyberdemons and the like, but this movie just has generic zombies, burn victim imps, and I guess what kinda looks like a night figure that just spouts a monologue and then is killed. At first, I thought it looked like it was going to be a Hellraiser, but then I guess I should know better than to expect them to draw cues from the actual games, huh? The weapons are likewise missing their variety from the Doom games. They're only ever shown to wield pistols, assault rifles, a chainsaw for a few seconds, and the aforementioned generic-looking take on the BFG. There's no shotguns or rocket launchers or plasma rifles here. Even hell itself looks surprisingly boring, just a rocky area with a tar pit in the center. I criticized Doom 2016 slightly for having a mostly sulfuric hell, but this just takes Bland and runs with it. It plays like a discount Alien movie with long stretches where literally nothing happens but exposition, and it has the most generic designs I've ever seen, even compared to the 2005 movie. Perhaps even weirder is that it looked like it was actually trying to sympathize with hell, like, oh, the humans were the bad guys all along. I honestly don't know if that was intentional or if they were just trying to make Betruger look crazy, but it's not a good look. Oh, by the way, Betruger's here, and surprise, surprise, he turns out to be the bad guy who just wants to unleash hell. I'm sure nobody who's ever played or seen Doom 3 could see that coming a mile away, right? It even rips off Space Odyssey halfway through with the AI making its own "I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't do that" kind of thing. Later on, it even has a demonic possessed guy use something that looks like the Force because I guess we just need to fill a checkbox of sci-fi properties to rip off of. It'd be nice if they took some more inspirations from, you know, Doom, but I guess keycards and other superficial references are about all we can hope for here. Just about the only aspect I'd say it's actually better than the 2005 movie is acknowledging that they're from hell. It doesn't even have the 2005 movie so bad it's good charm. You certainly won't find anything akin to having The Rock as a villain here. Perhaps one of the few compliments I can give it is that at least the female lead, Joanne, can be likable at times. There are even some scenes where she acts like she cares about other people. That may not sound like much, but it at least puts her ahead of Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. Ultimately, though, the movie is just extremely cookie-cutter and boring. It feels like they were just checking things off a list and getting a movie through rather than actually being passionate about the Doom universe. It's not laughably terrible, but in a way it's much worse. It's so by the numbers and, if you'll pardon the pun, soul-sucking that it just leaves you drained afterwards, at least for me. You might find some enjoyment if you're into that kind of thing, but I expect more from Doom than just a cheap generic Alien ripoff. Beyond the most shallow of cameos, you aren't going to find much Doom here. If you really want something like Doom, I'd recommend Event Horizon instead. Or hell, just watch the 2005 movie instead. It may be bad too, but at least it's a little amusing.